Greetings, sisters and brothers. My name is Professor R.T. Bates, and actually I am a professor of Tao Arts and Sciences. But on this video today, I wanted to talk to you about, actually, what's in the background, those two, I would like to believe they are mounds, because I would think it's pretty rare for two hills to spring up right next to each other and almost look exactly alike. But, you don't know, I don't know. They could be just regular hills. But, as I said, I would like to think they are mounds. And what are mounds? Mounds are what the original so-called black people, the original inhabitants of America, used to build these mounds. Many of the mounds are still here all over America. And many of them are older than the pyramids of Egypt. Studies show that they might actually be connected to the pyramids of Egypt. There are studies that show that this land called America was actually part of so-called Africa. And if this is true, which was called Pangaea by the Greeks. Now, if this is true, that means that so-called black people were here already when the landmass broke off from so-called Africa. So, the people who say they were already here today call themselves the Washita. And they are descendants of what is called the Almac. That is not their true name. I can't pronounce their true name. But they were the ones who built these mounds all over Mexico, here in California where I'm at now, and on the East Coast in Louisiana and all up and down the East Coast there. So we were all over America when other people arrived. I hope you can see the mounds over there. I'm just doing this video because I've been out here, on a sabbatical. Oh, let me get you straight here so you can see who is talking here. Who that talking there? Boy, let me get that hole out there. See, I'm sitting on an abandoned, it wasn't abandoned. When you leave stuff out here in the desert and you go away, people will come and tear it up. Just strip it, take what they need, and leave it. So, back to the story. Excuse me. Okay. I'm just checking to see that the video and everything is cool, so it's on. So anyway, as I was saying, there were people here, and it wasn't called America. There were people here before the people they say were here. But let me open up properly. when you drum, you always begin and end with the heartbeat. As besides communication, the drum represents, well, that don't sound like a heartbeat. And understand, overstand, understand. Anyway, where was I? So, we have these people called, by them, called the Olmec, who were in this land building things like that, mounds. I say maybe, I haven't been here, let me explain. I came up here to start a retreat. It didn't work out, and it just so happened that I'm leaving today, so I said, let me hurry up and make this video before I leave, because my van is packed, I'm ready to go. So I don't have my notes and stuff for what I'm doing this video, because I didn't know I was going to leave. So anyway, I'm doing the video anyway before I leave. Well, I like that, huh? Anyway, so now where am I going with this? I'm going to do more videos, but I wanted to do this out here before I leave. Where I was going with this is, there is actually a place called Wakanda. And when the Black Panther movie came out, I know many of you found this place called Wakanda. Now it's a park, but when the people living there were us, so-called Olmec, and we were building mounds as such, that whole area in Wisconsin, see, I don't have my notes, but I think it's Wisconsin. That whole area was occupied by us, and we built mounds, and we actually named the land Wakanda. Yes, it really exists. Not only does Wakanda exist, did you see the ear move when I said that? Also, the panther exists. But the Black Panther is in Africa, or what's so-called Africa, right? But over here in America, the third largest cat on earth is a species of panther but over here they're usually like tan or brown or gray, like that. They're not black, but they are still in the panther family, and they are called puma, or god dag nabbit notes. Anyway, there's another name for this puma, and it's the name I would rather use besides puma, because that's the sneakers. They steal all our shit. Anyway, so we have a real place called Wakanda, and we had real people who I not worshipped, but revered the panther here, which is not called a panther, but it's in the panther family. This cat here in America is the third largest cat on the planet, besides the lion and the tiger. So, where am I going with this again? Like I said, I want to make more videos when I'm more prepared, but I'm thinking about reviving the order of this cat, not the Black Panther. See, they took us to the side with the movie. They showed some stuff about Egypt. People, it just went over people's head. I'm not taking my child to see that because white people made it y'all never been to the movies before? White people make every movie. So I had students like, I'm not taking my child to see the Black Panther. Well, your child missed out, because when I came out of that movie, I was like, wow, did they just show us that? It went. I'm not even gonna go there. Anyway, so I wanted to do this video before I leave, and get some little drumming opening up. And so behind me, like I said, this represents the leopard. But in Africa, it's called the panther. Leopards and panthers are the same cat. A black panther has spots also. If you get close enough, don't get too close. If you get close enough, you can see the spots. It's just that he's all black, so the spots is kind of like grayish or maybe a different shade of black, but you can see them. So a leopard is the same thing, except we're not in Africa. We might have broke off from Africa, but we're not in Africa anymore. We had our own culture that was destroyed right here in America. We didn't wear feathers. We were not Indians, or none of that. They looked like me. See, I'm talking, but there is evidence. So I'm just talking off the top of my head making this video. But later videos, I'm going to show the evidence. So I'm ending this one. But like I said, I am R.T. Bates, or Professor R.T. Bates, Seafood. God dang nabbit flies out here. Oh, if you're not ready for the flies, if you want to come to the desert, be ready for the flies, the heat, the wind. I've been out here like 2.5 months. It's not easy, man. But anyway, that's what Kung Fu people do. So, never fly. So, that's the end of this video. Like I said, I'm a professor of Tao arts and sciences. So, people probably believe, oh, that's a black man and all he knows is Chinese culture. Well, you people that think I only know Chinese culture, whether you know it or not, that's a whole nother story, but whether you know it or not, the creators of the so-called Chinese culture was the Shang dynasty, and they were Afro-Asiatics. Different people, but they still had afros, dude. They are related, our cousins. So, whole nother story. I didn't mean to get off the subject, but I'm going to talk about it later. We're going to talk about Wakanda here in America, and the panther, or I'm going to say puma right now because I can't think of the other name, starting the puma order again. What they did was pretty much take care of the mounds. These priests were the ones who cared for the mounds. So that was the order. Take care of the mounds so we can go to Wisconsin, make sure they ain't messing up our mounds. Because they done took all our land and made it Wakanda Park. So this much land is now about that much land. And it's a little tiny park compared to what we had owning. Well, we never tried to own, but we was the only ones here. Anyway, off subject again. I'm out. God dang nabbit flies. Peace. We'll talk about this later in the future.